What's up, guys? It's Nate, One Man's Odyssey. Can't even get my own channel name right. We're doing a day hike here in central New Mexico, northern New Mexico. Today, we are hiking up the Ojito Wilderness High Point, which I do believe has enough prominence to be, statistically speaking, a mountain. But obviously, based on the name, its main significance is that it is the high point of the Ojito Wilderness, which is one of New Mexico's beautiful wilderness areas. This is a very popular wilderness area to people who live in Albuquerque. It's a good shoulder season, even wintertime wilderness. It's kind of in the, well, it's still high desert, but it's lower than some of the other desert areas in northern New Mexico. So it stays a little bit warmer throughout the year. It's not really so true right now. It's pretty cold this morning, even though like we're going through a heat wave right now. It snowed pretty intensely 2 weeks ago, which pretty much has us locked out of the high country unless I want to put on some snowshoes, which I'm not really feeling like doing this right about now. And despite that, I think the high today in Santa Fe is like 60, which usually means around here, kind of like by Albuquerque or in this area, it usually is 5 to 10 degrees hotter. But despite that, the temperature this morning, according to my car, was in the teens, 18 or 19 degrees. So I feel pretty good. It's just my hands are really cold. I do have gloves, but it's really inconvenient to film and wear gloves. So if I don't have to wear gloves, I'd prefer not to. This is going to be a pretty short hike, probably 4 miles or less. Not too much elevation gain. I love the Ojito Wilderness. Last time I was in this area was to hike up Mesa Prieta. I think it was March. Is it back there? Maybe it's February, January. I really can't remember. One of the reasons why we're doing a little bit of a shorter hike today is my parents' anniversary. So happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. I want to say they're getting close, if not there already, to number 40. So that's really great for them. I need to be back home by before 4. We have dinner reservations at 4 at Escondido in Santa Fe. So I need time to get ready and everything. And I wanted to originally head back to Mesa Alta. Snow reports are showing that area is pretty melted by now. Should be accessible, but just with the driving and the hiking, the fact that it's off trail and I would be doing my own route, I didn't want to take the chance, maybe, take too long and then not be able to get home in time for the important meal. So we're doing something a little bit shorter today. Should be back home with plenty of time to spare. Let's head up to the Ojito Wilderness High Point. As you can tell, we're not really going up to a proper peak. We're just kind of walking up a high mesa. This is the Ojito Wilderness, so our options were limited to where we could drive in on roads, and that was from the west, which is kind of the flat part of the mesa. Thankfully, while the hike itself is kind of boring just because it's a flat mesa, the summit is on the rim. We should get some nice views of the Ojito Wilderness. This is the high point right here, but as you can see, it's ringed by cliffs. So the most logical way to go is right over here. I'm kind of eyeing to see if maybe there's a little bit more fun we can have getting up this thing, but nothing is really striking me as obvious. Maybe a little bit over here or over there, but otherwise, I'm not so sure. That was pretty easy. Going up between that tree was really straightforward. Again, totally not necessary and not really even that exciting. All right, we're here. There are several high mounds of dirt that I think could be hints for the high point, but I think that this is the highest right here. So that's where I'm headed. Apparently the last few high points I've done, namely Kaibab Plateau and Grand Canyon National Park, had registers and I just didn't see them. So I'm gonna look extra careful for a register on this high point. So here we go. Woo! We found it. It's actually on a different mound. This one I thought looked equivalently high to the other one. So the other one we were at is right there. But this one, I guess this one's maybe a little higher. Anyway, let us sign the register. There was no pencil in the register, and really wasn't even a register. It was just a couple business cards for the New Mexico Mountain Club. I know that they place a lot of their registers here, so I'm a little confused why they wouldn't put a notepad and pen or pencil in there, but maybe somebody took it. I don't know. Anyway, gonna go to the rim here of the mesa to check out these views of the Ojito Wilderness. I definitely remember when I did my Ojito Wilderness backpacking trip back in April 2021 or so, I remember seeing people on here, and I think I camped pretty close to it. I believe I will be able to see my campsite from up here. Yeah, those are almost definitely the Hoodoos that I camped by, so my campsite was somewhere around down there. Go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it. Can't promise you're gonna like it. I know a lot of my old videos have was still learning my style, so if you like my current videos, you might not like my old videos, but I did camp over there about 3.5 years ago. Well, we're headed down. Nice little hike. Really enjoyed that view from up there. The Ojito Wilderness is very interesting. It's very small. We basically could see all of it. We could see kind of where the most popular entrance points were, and it kind of put into perspective that trip I did a few years ago, how little mileage I covered. I can't remember what the mileage was on paper, but certainly looking at it from that perspective, it did not seem like very much. The cool thing about the Ojito, I think, is this is not the best way to experience it. You definitely want to experience it by being down there on the ground, seeing those hoodoos up close. It's a very beautiful, interesting, moonscape type place that just looking at it from above, we could see the hoodoos and stuff, as you could probably see in the video, but it's not the same as being there in person.